Grading the Vikings off-season, I'm going to give them a B+ for their efforts. We can talk about the players, Byron Murphy coming over. We can talk about Marcus Davenport giving them a pass rusher. But really the big deal is Brian Flores coming over to change over that defense. When you look at the defenses that he's led, first in New England, then in Miami, lots of pressure, a lot of heat on the quarterback, and this game is about knocking the quarterback down, because when that happens, explosive plays, turnovers, big things happen for the defense.
I think for the off-season moves, if I have to give the Vikings a grade, I really like how they're very focused on the defense. But it hurt my soul a little bit to see Adam Thielen walk out the door offensively. So I think at a B, are we going with numbers? Because, they curve the grade scale sometimes. That's also important. I would go like a solid 84, which is a strong B. We'll keep it there.
I'm going to go B. I think Kwesi knows that you can't totally remake a defense in the offseason, so there are a lot of good budget-conscious moves that help this team depth-wise while turning the attention mostly to pick number 23 on the draft. The one guy that I really like, because we're standing here in front of SoFi Stadium, is Brandon Powell. He made a big splash a couple of years ago, late in the season for the Rams. Obviously, everything kind of went sideways last year with the injuries for this entire roster. But Brandon Powell can be dynamic in the return game, and he can give Kevin O'Connell a toy on offense with the jet sweeps, with the bubbles, add that extra piece to the offense. I think he's going to be a surprise.
I think a B is a fair assessment for this offseason. I think there is one gem that hasn't been discussed nearly enough nationally, and that's the addition of Byron Murphy. Got to see him when he was in college. He is a freak athlete coming out of Washington, and the more you talk to people down in Arizona, what he can do to help and close the gap on what some of the issues have been in terms of the secondary cannot be understated. I think Byron Murphy is one of the real gems, and that's the reason why the grade's actually higher than I think it should be, which, once again, is a strong B.
So I'm going to give the Vikings a B+. Why? There wasn't a ton of moves to be made in terms of what the cap space was versus what was potentially possible for them. But I went to college with Brian Flores, and I can tell you that as a human being, he is one of the best on the planet. So bringing him in, as I know Bucky said this too, but it's true, he's wonderful. He's going to change the culture and the cadence around that defense. And adding some pieces to the defense will also help. And then, of course, we've still got the draft. So wasn't a lot to be done, and with that guy in that, Wisconsin state maybe leaving, I think things are looking even more up for the Vikings.